This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by FreshBooks. They fresh to death. Welcome to FilmRiot Mondays. Josh isn't wearing pants.
Never.
Why aren't you wearing pants?
Why would I wear pants?
People are going to think this is a joke. It's not a joke.
It's not a joke.
Questions. First question, how do you shoot flat video on a DSLR to grade later? The easiest way is just to go into your picture settings and set everything as flat as possible there, taking the contrast down, taking the sharpness down, taking the saturation down, but you can get things to install onto your camera to help get an even more flat profile. You can find something like that if you're using a Canon camera. In this episode here, we talk and show about that, or you could just Google it, flat settings, and then for the camera that you're using. How to make your friends respect you as a director when on set. Example, when they're actors and such.
Never wear any pants. You'd always respect a man who doesn't wear pants.
It's not true. It's not true.
It is true.
I don't think that's true.
That's why everyone respects me.
Being a director means you're managing a ton of different people, and the way to do that is by understanding each personality and the fact that each personality is going to have to be worked with slightly different than the other. It's kind of an art in and of itself, learning to collaborate and work with those type of people, getting them behind you, behind the idea, and moving forward. A great way to get them to respect you is to show them that you respect them. You respect their ideas, you're taking on their ideas, you're collaborating with everyone. You're not just telling people, barking orders, telling people what to do, but instead it's a process of everybody coming together, putting their ideas into this creative pot, which of course you're the captain of the ship, and you're all making something together that you can be excited about. For me, that has always been how I've operated. If I ever had a problem with someone who seemed like they weren't really showing me a lot of respect, I showed them even more respect, and it ended up working itself out. If that doesn't work, you can always take them aside and explain to them the situation and go from there. But always deal in kindness and respect, and it will usually come back around to you. What recipe do you use for spaghetti sauce? Well, the blood of the innocent. No, really, the blood of the innocent. Do you feel like Hollywood is running out of creativity? And if so, how do you think they can get their groove thing back? No, I don't. Not even the slightest, littlest, tiniest bit ever in the history of thinking that ever. I think some of the most amazing artists are out right now making amazing things. Just fantastic directors, writers, editors, cinematographers, actors. There is such intense creativity and amazing stuff happening right now, especially this year. This year has been amazing for film. And yes, you have all the remakes and the franchises and things based on this or that, game movies coming out or whatever. But that's because that's what we pay for. We're dictating what Hollywood makes, and then everyone complains about it. And I don't really understand that. If you're sick of superhero movies, stop paying to see superhero movies. Those are the things that make the most money year after year. So of course, that's what Hollywood's gonna make because it's a business. At the end of the day, it is a business, but within that business, they're doing very creative and interesting things. Even Marvel, even though there's these superhero movies that are very saturated right now, every movie that they do, there's something very creative that's pushing cinema forward. I mean, Mad Max is a franchise movie, and it's one of the greatest films that I've seen in the past 10 years. It just blew my mind. The directing, the editing, the cinematography, everything that went into that film was freaking fantastic, and it was just a masterclass that I plan on watching over and over and over and over again. So no, not at all. If I haven't expressed my opinion on that, no, I don't. What is your editing process? Do you go through every single take, or do you only go through the takes you have printed? I don't do good take, bad take during production. We're usually really run and gun, so we don't usually keep track of that. So it's always about bringing it in and looking at all the different takes. I'll usually watch them like that and then bring them into my timeline and then choose what performance I like best. I'm a little sloppy with it. I'm a little all over the place with it. I think everybody needs to find their own process. I don't think you should jump into someone else's in that respect. I think you should find your way of working. But for me, if it's, say it's a dialogue scene, I am going through every single line, trying to find the best performance possible to then mold the best moment possible. With action, I usually remember from the day from directing what I liked most, and I'm able to pinpoint that much easier since I am writing, shooting, and editing my own thing. It's a lot easier to find the takes that I remember loving. Last question, how to prepare your actors for the first day of a shoot. I guess for me that kind of depends because I do so many different types of projects. When I'm doing something like Tell or UFO, yeah, something where we have some lead time to really prep it and think about it, I like to meet with my actors ahead of time, talk about the themes of the piece, talk about their character, who they think their character is, their backstory, how everything's gonna feel. But with stuff like Proximity or Portal, there's such quick projects. Like Proximity, we came up with, wrote, and shot that thing in 10 days, so there was no time to really dive in with people what their character was and backstory and things like that. It was more just making sure everybody knew what to expect from the shoot days. It was going to be really hot, it was going to be in the middle of nowhere, we were going to have water and everything, but it was going to be really hardcore, all go, no breaks, just getting it shot, lots of running, so that they can prepare themselves mentally as much as possible. So just giving people a heads up of what's coming when it comes to a project like that. But if I can, I like to meet with them ahead of time and really dive into what exactly we're trying to accomplish. FreshBooks makes things simple, but their specialty is to make your life easier when it comes to invoicing, getting paid, and tracking expenses. If you are doing any freelance work or have a business of any kind on the side or full time, you need to know about FreshBooks. It's an online tool that's absolutely the easiest way to get all your accounting done super fast. Everyone dreads doing stuff like sending invoices and getting your numbers straight, but that's where FreshBooks makes it really simple. Your clients pay you online, your expenses are tracked automatically as you spend, and all the little details about cash flow are in one place, so you always know where you stand. You can even see the full history of any invoice, so you'll know if your client has looked at your invoice or not. So head over to freshbooks.com/FilmRiot and don't forget to enter FilmRiot in the How Did You Hear About Us section. So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This one is called Wake. It's from my friend Lynn Oding. It is a short action thriller piece, very short and very awesome. Has some great fight choreography in there, so definitely check that out. But that is it for today. Until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit, repeat.